What's up, everybody? I hope people show up because I realized something when I sat down at the computer. I had accidentally put 6 o'clock for the show time to start instead of 4, which is what it's supposed to be today. I never do 6 o'clock on Sundays. So, but I just changed that so we'll see who actually shows up. But anyway, today's talk is going to cover a couple of different subjects. People sent in links to articles and things that they wanted to get my take on. And of course, you're invited to give your take as well. Let me give let me get the little screen, the backstage number where you can dial in and share your, hey, Cece, at least somebody's here with me. I was like, oh no, I'm going to be here all by myself. um, if you want to, make your comment using audio versus being in the chat room, you just click that link on your phone or your computer, tablet, whatever. And as long as you have headsets, you should be able to hear and, talk to me at the same time. So that's how we're going to do this. So let me get started. What's up, Nubian? I'm glad some people showed up because, I was just saying, I just realized I made a mistake in scheduling the show. I put it to start at 6. When I sat down to actually get ready to start, I said, oh my God, it's supposed to start at 4. That's what it said on the slide. I don't know what I was doing. But let's start with this tea first. I want to see what you guys have to think about, what you guys have to say. Wait a minute, I forgot. I have slides. I want to make them smaller though. Let's do this view. Yeah, let's do this view. So this is our topic for today. So it's, all about you. You guys can call in. I put the number in there. Let me do it again. If you have a topic that you want to talk about, something that you want to ask me that wasn't really appropriate for some of the other shows you want to talk about, this is that day. Okay, so it's like an open floor. Let's start with talking about this. Okay, this was all in the news. I didn't even know anything about it, but people were hitting me up talking about Ebony K. Williams, who, I don't really watch television, so I had no idea who she was. But I was reading the story with interest. Okay, those of you who know me well know that I have this thing, and that I don't even know how you pronounce it. That lady, Ilana. I'm talking about Iyanla, her. I've always thought that she had like too much of a pick-me kind of thing going on when she would talk to women and about the men in their lives, and then talk to the men. It was like this coddling kind of thing about them instead of getting up and whacking them with her paper, telling them to snap out of that stupid state that they're in and grow up and be a man. She never would say that. She was always like this, oh, baby, this kind of thing. And it used to drive me crazy. So when she was, doing a lot of stuff with Oprah, I used to love to watch Oprah. But when Ayanna would be on there, I would turn it off and go do something else. So anyway, evidently, Ayanna and this lady, Ebony K. Williams, got into it because Ayanna, this lady was being interviewed. She's a 39-year-old attorney. She's a Black woman. She's very cute. I have a slide of what she looks like. Girlfriend's very polished. And of course, oops, and educated. I just hit all, there she is. Let me make this a little bigger so those of you who haven't seen her would know what she looks like. There you go. And she's on television. I mean, she's just doing big things. So she, Ebony is quoted as saying, some of us feel that the men that are available to us are not positioned to protect nor provide because of some of the statistics that we've talked about. The TV host explained, they're not earning the incomes, they're not having the resources, and some of them are not even showing up in leadership. Further analyzing the dialogue, Van Zant, that's her name, Ilana Van Zant, asked Williams, would you date a bus driver? Now, this woman is an accomplished attorney, okay, on TV. She's not a 10 on anybody's scale as far as looks would go. Then she says, the article is quoted as saying, the articulate attorney responded, if he owns the bus, if he owns the bus, Ayanna. And so then Leanna challenged her to think differently about her stance. In other words, she said, you basically, become a pick-me and say that you would accept a bus driver. So the girl says, no, see, that's wrong. That's a problem because the standards and the criteria that we use to measure men is off for us, is off for who we are, the women, and who they think we are in society. I would date a bus driver. Van Zandt said, if he loved driving the bus, if he was a man of integrity, if he was good to his mother and treated me well, I would date a bus driver. And so, so the young lady replied that, that's not going to be working for her, and that she thinks that Black women are working harder to provide and protect for their families amid the unemployment crisis that continues to burden Black men, and that, she just wasn't down with that. She didn't see where that was necessary. When we talk about men in mind, women is the heart. And so many of us have guarded, broken, closed hearts that we do everything from here, the life therapist said, as she pointed to her heart. That's Ilana, in case you're confused. And so, so of course, everybody on social media went crazy because, especially, the brothers lost their minds, and all the pygmies went bananas, and they were just like roasting her, saying that she should, she should be okay with dating a bus driver. Now, I want to know, why is it that they never say stuff like that to white or Asian women? Only Black women get told to pick some man who's nowhere near on their level, educationally, socially, financially, intelligently, integrity-wise, or nothing. Okay, because it's like this. If you were devoted and had enough focus and drive and ambition to put yourself through law school and, okay, 4 years of college, and then go to law school, and then to become, what you call it, I can't think of it all of a sudden. Where they're studying under the attorney, and then they, become a full-fledged partner or whatever. You put in all those years of hard work and study and dedication. You forego partying. You don't really do too much because you got to hit them books hard so you can pass the bar. And then after that, you got to put in them hours for the law firm to make it to partner, junior partner, whatever you're going for. It's hard work. It requires dedication, perseverance. And for a woman in what's typically a white male environment, she got the double-edged sword. She's Black and she's a woman. Okay, so sister had to have it going on to get to where she is. Now, what is she, after all of that, she's supposed to put all of that aside and go and give it a bus driver who's got a GED or a high school diploma, and that's where he's good with that. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but I'm just saying that dude is not at her level. He's not in her league, and he don't have no business trying to build a relationship with a woman like that. Now, she may not, I'm not, I didn't really listen to the videos of the interviews. I'm just, reporting from what I was reading in this article where they pulled worded clips from it. But, that's just not where she is in life. And I don't understand why Ayanna would promote that kind of stuff to her and to sisters who have done what they needed to do to climb the ladder and get to where they are. A man who is working a blue collar job like that might be a good man. I'm not saying he's not, but he's not a good man for her. And that's the thing that, they keep trying to shove down black women's throats. Like we just supposed to take care of any and everything because it's breathing and he's black and it's a male. No. And it just drives me crazy. It burns me up. So well, actually a couple of people sent this article along for us to talk about today. Thank you. Because, I just I'm not on TV and all over the internet like that. I'm too busy. So when it's something like this that comes up, I depend on you guys to bring it to my attention, because otherwise I would never know about it. It would just like totally pass me by like it never happened. But I couldn't believe it. I could not believe it. Well, that's the thing about it. You'd be surprised though, Renee. They won't treat her well. That's a mistake. They won't treat her well because what they'll do is they'll be jealous of her. So when women, especially black women, get with, and this happens to white girls too, when you get with a guy and you're more accomplished than him, you're smarter than him, and you make more money than him, the bullshit starts. And so they do any and everything to put the smash on you so that they can feel like the big man and you just a little woman that's supposed to submit and listen to him. So even though what you're saying, I know it's coming from a good place, it's not proven in reality. In reality, it's the complete opposite. They aren't trying to be good to her at all. Yeah, they want her money, but that's not it. They do the negging thing. What they try to do is get you to give it to them from a place of low self-esteem and thinking that he's the prize, flipping it on you so that you think he's the prize and that he's like the last good man and that you better grab onto him, and that you being too picky, your standards are too high, you unrealistic, there's 10 black men to every black woman. They start hitting you with stuff like that because what they're trying to do is instill a sense of desperation and fear. Most of these guys in the streets today operate from a place of fear. They're fearful, but they want you to be, so it gives them the upper hand. When it's a woman like this and they can break her, it's like an extra feather on their cap. So, I love you, Renee, but I got to tell you that's not really true. That's not true at all. They don't look at them like she's prey. She's someone to break, like a wild pony. So it's just like extra dusty accomplishment for these dudes like that. Yeah, if she's single and successful and that's just how it is. And just think she's very successful. You don't even have to be that successful. Just a woman with a better job than him, a nicer car, a better, like you own your home and he's still living with his mother or something like that, or living, got a roommate situation or renting an apartment. Whatever way that you're better than him, he's going to try to break you down because most men have super low self-esteem. And even if they don't articulate it, it's going to show up in the way that little snarky things that they do and little underhanded things that they say and how they treat you. Well, you're an independent woman. You can do it yourself. And they, like I said, they may not say the words, but the behavior that they exhibit towards you will send that message that you so smart, you so accomplished, and you so independent. Well, you don't need a man, so don't be asking me for nothing. Like I said, they're not going to say that always, but they're going to do it so that you still understand that that's the message. It shows in their behavior. So what'd she say? He felt emasculated and left her. Well, say la vie. What you supposed to do? It's like, see, that's the thing. It's like, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to stop being who you are and stop your striving to greatness in order to bring along some low self-esteem having fool to make him feel better at your expense. I know a lot of women think that that's what they're supposed to do. And Ayana obviously is one of them, and she promotes that. You will never hear that from my lips. I want you all, I don't care what kind of star, moon, planet you are. I want you to shine as brightly as you can. You do everything that you can to be brilliant, to be a superstar, to be wonderful, to make all your dreams come true. If a man is good enough to be with you, when you on that level, then he can be there because he has earned it and he deserves it. He's worthy. But if he's not, and he's just sitting on his behind somewhere and thinking he's supposed to ride on your coattails and you're supposed to stop what you're doing to bring him along or not be as wonderful as you could be because it makes him look bad and emasculates him, then that's what you just tell him, you obviously not worthy of me. And so you just going over there and stay in the dust pile from whence you came. But, ladies, you guys, I mean, and I was looking at how many women were arguing. They was on Ayanna's side. And these are sisters. I'm like, what is wrong with you? What in the world? Why do you think? How can you have a man that you respect, that you say you want to submit to, is going to be the king and leader and stuff like that, and you have to treat him like he's a simple little 2-year-old? How does this work? How? I mean, in their minds, I'm like, how can you even make that jump intellectually? It just does not compute. Either you're going to be the head and you're going to be the lead and you're going to be out in front and you're going to be handling stuff, large and in charge, or you're going to sit down and shut up and be a kid with the other kids and be told what to do and be managed like anything else in the household because you ain't up there. She is, and she's up there by herself. So, I mean, these dudes, they don't understand. I mean, or they're too lazy. I'm not sure what it is. It's like nobody's going to slow down and wait for you to catch up. You got to get your own motor running. Get your motor running, put your feet in motion, and let's go. Do double time if you have to catch up. But no woman in her right mind is going to stop doing what she's doing to slow down and help or support or encourage your loser, slow turtle butts to do anything. You decided not to continue to go to school. You decided to do whatever it was you did. They made you get locked up in prison and get yourself behind the 8 ball. You chose to do those things. So don't be resenting of Black women because we chose not to and we're doing something else that's making us look better and be more successful and have more money than you. You chose the stupid stuff. Okay, so now you want the stupid prize. And ain't nobody trying to slow their roll for you. I'm just like, this is crazy. Let's see what she's got to say. Exactly. But, this is part of the thing, DJ, what I was saying earlier to Renee. This is part of the script flipping. What do they call it? Gaslighting. The whole thing about marriage and having a bunch of kids and needing a man and all that stuff is gaslighting. I say relationships are wonderful things if the man is sensible, mature, and he's got himself together. It is very nice. It's a very nice thing to have. But what I'm saying is you still don't need it. It's nice, but you don't need it. You don't need a relationship to be great. You don't need a relationship to be happy. You don't need it. It's like you're the cake and he's the icing. It might be a good cake just like it is. It better be. But if you put a little frosting on it, it might be even a little tastier. That's what we're looking at men as. These guys are not frosting. They're not bringing anything to your life. Every woman lately, I mean, you just look at the letters that come into the advice column. They're in a relationship. Are any of them happy? They're being abused, mistreated, neglected, taken for granted, and all kinds of stuff, abused. All kinds of stuff is going on in these relationships. The women are more unhappy in the relationships than they would be if they were single, but they're too afraid to be single. So they bought into, that matrix talk where they felt like they needed to stay in the matrix. And so there they are. These crazy relationships. What's travel talking about? Yeah, she does. She is one. I don't know that. I don't know the answer to that. Because like I said, to me, that does not compute. I mean, if I feel sorry for you and treat you like a little kid and trying to pet you up all the time, I can't be thinking of you with respect as my man. You're going to get treated just like one of the kids because that's how you act. That's the level of your accomplishment and that's the level of your mentality. We can't do nothing with that. Yes, she does. Well, yeah, but the men don't want her. It's guys the ladies don't understand. Guys, even though they might want a woman who feels like she needs them, there's a difference between that kind of need, where there's kind of a interdependence, and then the neediness where you gonna just glob onto him and make him responsible for everything in your life. There's a fine balance there. And when you got those women who are too much of a pick me like that, Those are the women who they want their man to decide what toothpaste they buy, what toilet paper they buy in the household, what they cook for every meal, what brand of bologna they buy. I mean, they want the man to do everything, and the dudes run from that because it's too much responsibility. So, there's a fine balance between it's just a lot to explain. But I think most of the time, um, you're just gonna want to do what you do, and then you're gonna just wait for the dude that you meet that's got his shit together and comes on board, meeting you step by step for step. Yes, they do, hunty. Because even if they not broke financially, they're broke emotionally, mentally, spiritually. There's some kind of healing they need to do, and it's just too much work. It's too much work. Anybody trying to do all that? She's not gonna back down because the girl is just too tough. Like I said, look at what she's been through to get to where she is. That's not somebody who's gonna back down and just make a U-turn and do she's gonna stay in the position. And most likely then she'll end up with some white dude that appreciates her for what she is and what she does. I mean, definitely not gonna be a brother because they just, they tripping too hard. And they want to, this I heard some DJ. You know how I feel about them people in the music industry. Not one of them is an intellectual giant, but somebody in the music industry challenged her and was talking about it. I'm like, oh, dude, sit down and play records or something that you know how to do. Make a beat or something. Stay in your envelope. Don't try to debate with attorneys. Just like, what are you doing? that was a losing move from the get-go. Exactly. That's the problem we have. I was on Reddit talking to they have this parenting thing I go in sometimes, right? And this lady was in there talking about her son is 17 and she asked him to feed the dog or something and he didn't feed the dog and the dog was hungry all day. He didn't take the dog. I mean, not the dog, basically the dog was being tortured by this boy. And she sent him to his room and that's supposed to be his punishment. I started laughing. I'm like, okay, in his room there's a TV, there's a computer, there's the internet, plus he got his phone. I mean, sitting into a room that's like heaven. It's not like when we were kids, you go to a room, it's like you might have a stuffed animal or a ball or something. I mean, you know what I mean? Now it's like you send them to their room, they're like great. And mom's away from leaving me. I can do what I want to do in my room. So I told her, that the thing about he's 17, he's almost 18, he's a young man. I asked her, what chores does he do in the house? That was it, the dog thing, but he don't even do that. And I'm like, how much money do you give him every month? So she's, giving him money. And I'm like, okay, has he ever had a job? She's like, no. And I said, so do you cook for him and clean for him, do his laundry and all that stuff? Yes. She treats him like he's 5. So, other parents were chiming in too. No, you doing your son, you just spoiled him. Like this boy spoiled rotten. And you got like 1 year to get it together, lady, because he's going to be 18 as a grown man. Anything that you do for him after that, you're just being pimped because women who give men money are being pimped. And I don't care what anybody says, 18 or not, he should have a job. At 17, he should have a job. His sister, his mother should not be paying his cell phone bill and giving him pocket money. That should be coming from his own labor and his own initiative. And he definitely should be doing some chores in the house. She's still doing his laundry and changing his bed and stuff. I'm like, oh, this boy is crazy. And then he don't want to do what he's supposed to do. I told her, get the dog away. Get the dog away and don't say nothing. And when she says, well, but he loves the dog. I'm like, I wouldn't give a shit. That would be the number one reason why I would get the dog away. Because you don't respect the stuff that you love. You don't treat it right, so you don't get to have it. That's a repercussion. He has never suffered any. So when you have parents like this lady, it's like it just never dawned on her. She was like, you could tell by her responses, it's like she never thought any of this stuff was a problem, how she was treating this boy. And how useless he's going to be. And what you guys are saying here about how these men are, that's the case in a lot of them. I'm not saying all of them, but a lot of them have been spoiled rotten by their mothers. They never had to do any chores. The mother takes care of them even into adulthood, taking care of their responsibilities and intervening on their behalf and stuff like that. So, There we go. Why would she be with the bus driver? What would they even have in common? Exactly. That's what I was saying earlier. I mean, he's not at her level intellectually, socially, financially, nothing. Sis is obviously a mover and a shaker and a very determined person with a lot of ambition. Somebody who's happy to be a bus driver probably doesn't have that. But she did qualify, say she would be with a bus driver if he owned the bus company, because now he's an entrepreneur. Another person that she might consider, because there was a guy, what was his name? Curtis Green. He used to be the head of Muni, San Francisco Municipal Railway. He ran that whole city's bus system. So even though he didn't own it, he ran it. And he was an elected, he was like an official, a government official. So that might fall in her radar being okay. But I don't know. I don't know about these dudes and why they want to fight with her about it and say, yeah, you should be dated bus driver. Why do you think that you, a complete stranger on the internet, some people that she doesn't even know, should have a right to make a decision or even have an opinion about what this woman should take home and have in her life? That's the part that really just drove me crazy. Folks be sticking their nose in all kinds of avenues where it don't belong and having opinions nobody asked them about. Yeah. Dang, Gnarly. Gnarly just went machete style. I don't know. I just don't understand it. So that's what I had to say about that. I don't have any problem with what she said. I agree with her 155%. And I think any woman has the right to only be with a man and exert her energy towards a man that she believes is on her level, that she believes, not that even that you and I believe. Because, she might pick somebody who we think is beneath her. If she happy, I'm happy. That's how I do it. I just don't be really tripping about other people's business like that. Mm, that's kind of going into the realm of pervy, because those are basically men now. No. Nope. Sit and put them in the backyard and hose them down like a cow. But that's unsavory, and I don't think that's a good idea. Yeah, I think by the time a boy is 5 or 6 years old, he can bathe himself. His mama don't need to be touching his nether regions. That's grossly inappropriate. So your coworker is on some perv shit. She's using that as the excuse, but that's not even normal. That's way beyond the realm of normal. There's something going on with her. But let's move on. Okay, what's our next topic? And we got you guys, if you guys have a topic too, feel free. I'm going to open the floor up later and you can feel free to call in your, what it is you want to talk about. Okay, so now let's talk about Mr. Brian McKnight. Mr. McKnight. People was all upset about Mr. McKnight this week too. Or last week rather. They was all sitting up in arms about him because they were like, he faces criticism for allegedly disowning his biological, quote, black kids after photos resurfaced of him with his, quote, new family. Okay, so it says that the children he shares with his wife, Dr. Leilani Mendoza. The R&B singer was married to his college sweetheart, Julie, from 1990 to 2003, and she was black. And in 2017, he married Mendoza, who had 2 children of her own from previous relationships, Jack and Julia. He has been accused of not claiming his biological children, sons Brian Jr. and Nico, and Julie. He has another son, Clyde, and a daughter, both from previous relationships. McKnight is often criticized anytime he shares a post about his stepchildren. Okay, so we don't know how old these kids are, but we do know 1990 to 2020 2003. So they're most likely in their 20s or 30s, right? 1990. Say he was born in 91. They're at least 30 years old. So those aren't children, right? Plus, he had two before he even married this chick. To a baby mama situation, or maybe even two baby mamas. So those are grown adults too. So I'm trying to figure out why people are upset about what he's doing, not doing for some adults that should be doing for themselves. What's that all about? Okay, see, there was a screenshot of his Instagram post from December 2022. It featured a photo of him and Julia in front of a car he and Leilani purchased for her 21st birthday. The two can be seen standing next to the luxury car. Today we celebrate Jules on your birthday, he wrote in the caption, and I couldn't be proud of you and I couldn't ask for a better daughter than you. Happy birthday to the best daughter ever. Love you a zillion. And so this person said that he was nasty. How awful is this caption? You already have a black one. And he said that his black kids, he claimed that they are lazy and were using him. He's one of those dads, said this person. This person accused him of that. That is not a quote from McKnight. His wife and he are expecting a son. Oh, I guess that baby passed away May of last year. Fans were upset, and they seem to still be upset. And one said, I just learned that Brian McKnight named his newborn Brian McKnight. He has an adult name named Brian McKnight Jr. This man is diabolical. Oh, I mean, why can't he name his kids? What about George Foreman? He named all his kids George Foreman. Okay, we all thought it was cute. That was odd, but okay, so. And the thing about it is, this is just me. When you are grown, why do you care about the younger sibling, the younger step siblings or whatever? Why are you so focused on that? And why are these adults that don't even know McKnight, ain't in his family, not run relative, so upset about the fact that he has a fractured relationship with his other children? That happens in many families. This is not anything new. Okay. Whether you're a star or not, this happens. People separate. People go what they call no contact. This happens. They go low contact of all races, all socioeconomic levels. This happens frequently between adults and their parents for whatever reason. So people on the outside looking in, trying to make a judgment call, well, saying that it's because they're black. No, it's most likely because of some other reason, because white kids and their white parents have the same issues. Asian kids and their Asian parents have the same issues. Black kids and their black parents have the same issues. And it don't have nothing to do with the fact that they're black. It has to do with the personalities involved in that relationship. Just because someone made you and is your parent does not mean you owe them anything. A lot of those parents are very abusive to their children, physically, mentally, emotionally, and sometimes, the other kind too. So the kids grow up and they want nothing to do with their parents. Sometimes the kids were awful to the parents and they abused them. They, did all kind of underhanded stuff, made them spend up all their money getting them in and out of jail and rehabs and all that stuff. The parents, by the time the kid is grown, when they don't have to be responsible for it anymore, they're done. They're done because they've done everything that they need to do. They don't owe them wayward kids shit. Not anymore. You pass 18, deuces. So, there's all kind of stuff that this could be that we don't know. So I'm not really prepared to make a judgment call on it because I know too many families where there's some serious problems. And the people just choose to not deal with each other rather than get dirty laundry in public. Well, they couldn't have been that. Well, what says one of them was older, one of them, but there's two. So one may have not been. But anyway, it doesn't even matter. If whether they're older, they could be older than Brian McKnight. I don't care. My thing is, if he has a fractured relationship with his his first family, his kids, then what? I mean, who are we to judge that? Was we there? Do we know what transpired between them? No, we don't know nothing. But everybody want to sit around and make a judgment call. I'm not going to do that. I'm merely reporting on the story. Oh, is this? Let's see. I don't know. These kind of stories that go around the internet. I don't know if I believe everything that I don't really believe half of what I see on the internet, to tell you the truth. He cheated on her in the early 90s. Okay, is that our business though? Is that our business what a husband does to his wife in their marriage? Why do we care what he did to his wife? How do you know that she didn't cheat right back? Like I said, it's not really, I don't know. I see this is exactly why on this channel I don't really talk about celebrity gossip. This is exactly why. Because you don't even know what's going on. We don't know what's happening with these people. We know these little snippets that appear on the internet and everybody's quick to make a judgment. But like I said, from where I sit, I see too many fractured families when the people are adults. Sometimes it's the parents' fault. Sometimes it's the kids' fault. And the parents are just done with them because they're just too troublesome. They don't want to be bothered with them anymore. Them kind of kids that get on substances and then come into your house and steal your stuff. That, write checks from the back of your checkbook, take your credit card. Them kind of kids. The ones that feel entitled. The parents don't want anything to do with them. They take the car, the parents' car, and crash it. They do all kind of stuff. So, there's sometimes parents have a good reason to disown them kids. We don't know what happened. We don't know what's going on that's so wonderful for him in his new relationship. It might be kind of relationship he's never had with kids before, so he's loving it. It's making parenting a whole different experience for him than the first time around. But, no matter what it is, like I said, I just wanted to talk about it and I present it from that perspective. In that when we don't know the full story, I'm not prepared to make a judgment. I like to know, the whole thing. Yeah, it says he has a baby mama or two, because it said he has two previous kids from two previous relationships, but it doesn't say if they were both from the same woman or from two different women. So I don't know. It could, a or two baby mamas plus an ex-wife plus the present wife. What you think? Well, let's not act like, but you don't know if he is or not. See, that's the thing. You don't know. You don't have no facts. Whether he's lying or not, you can't swear on nothing that you know the story that more than everybody else does. When did you get to be psychic? Is your name secretly Miss Cleo now? So that's what I'm saying. We don't know. We don't know nothing. We only know what some person who did a screenshot and posted and got this whole shit started. Because one person did this recently from a screenshot that they posted that was from a post he did in December of last year. One person is responsible for this new firestorm. And that's all it took to get this fire lit and everything go on all over the internet and people to start ribbing about what Brian McKnight did with his kids. It's just, you're right, Christian. But what I'm saying is people don't, there's, so many facets to adult relationships with your adult children. Some parents have a really good one and some don't. And sometimes you don't even know why. The kids, they have whatever reason they have. But a lot of times it's like because I remember when she was little, probably about, I don't know, maybe 12 or so, 11, 12 years old. My daughter's school was doing this fundraiser for the school. And they wanted all the mothers to come to the school and make pizza. So I knew I wasn't going to the school to make no fucking pizza. That's not me. So I called up to the school. I said, I can't make it, but I'll give you guys some money. How much should I send? They said, oh, I don't know, 25 or $30. I said 50. So I said, buy ingredients and make some pizzas on my behalf. And I was done with it. My daughter was so upset. We had to sit down and we had to have a serious conversation about it because in her mind, she wanted me to be like all the other mothers and come up there and make pizza for hours on end. Deb wasn't going to do that. If I'm missing out on my personal training clients where I'm charged $100 an hour, them 3 hours I spent up there making some free ass pizzas, I just lost $300. I'm not going to do that. I sent them $50. So that was a benefit to me of $250 that day. So, I'm looking at that. I'm trying to get you, I got you in a private school. I'm trying to save for you to go to college. I got bills to pay and stuff. I need to work. I can't be up there making free pizzas. I don't have a husband at home, to supplement my income and make sure everything's still of water. I have to do it all by myself. And I wanted to go to private school. I did not want to go to public school in Oakland, California. That would have been a disaster. So I had to sit down with my daughter and explain to her that that's not her parent. You have a parent who will take you on adventures around the world, who will inspire your creativity, who will have your back no matter what, who will kill somebody over you, who will, encourage you to be who and what you are, whatever it is that you want to be. We can laugh, we can make jokes, we'll do all kinds of fun stuff together. You're my baby. But one thing I'm not going to do is be a typical mother and go up to the school and make pizzas. I'm not going to do that. That's not your mother. And so, it was a hard lesson for her to learn. It's like, she had to learn to accept me for who and what I am, just like I had to accept, as a parent, you accept your child. A lot of kids, that phase my daughter went through where she wasn't accepting who and what I was, they stay stuck in it. So they're constantly judging their parents and wanting their parents to be something that they're not. And so when I see a situation like this, not under, we don't know when those kids may have had because of his career choice and who he was and stuff. We don't know. So I hesitate to make any kind of judgments. I'm not going to make a judgment. I'm just talking about it from my perspective of, just putting a different focus on it than the one that seems to be on the internet. Everybody's on one camp or another. Either he's the villain, or, he's the villain because he ignores his black kids, or he's the villain because he prefers his non-black kids to the black kids. I mean, there's some colorism, racial aspect to all of it, when it could be none of the sort. It's just a personality thing, an expectations thing. I've taken but you have to come to that point, CC. And I think, with maturity, I don't really, to tell you the truth, I'm still not sure my daughter really accepts who and what I am, because I will be quick to tell her, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. And she gets so upset. She really has like these expectations that I be this like mold that she has in her mind. And I'm like, your mother is not a mold person. You should know that by now. But it's like she just won't accept it. So I could see, if he's got anything like that going on in his household, like I had going on in mine, and you scratch your head, it's like, how could you want me to be something that I'm not? And then that just doesn't even work. So yeah. Like, what is this? What do you think about hopeless romantics? Well, I don't, it's nothing good. Let me put it that way. It's what I have found is on this channel here, when you have somebody who claims to be a hopeless romantic, those are people that get themselves into situations where they're being very foolish. They're hanging on to their romantic dream of their vision of happiness and the relationship of perfection versus the reality of what they have. The women who focus on getting married, like they focus on the ring, they focus on the wedding, but they're marrying a complete idiot, a cheater, an abuser, somebody who's not holding up his end of the bargain. Think about the letters that come through here. Oh, my fiance. They're focused on that part. That's the hopeless romantic in them. They're hoping that love is going to be enough. Love is going to make it all better. And love is going to change him. He'll change for love. So that's going to be a show. Actually, I was talking about that with a friend of mine. Um, Not next Sunday because that's Mother's Day, but maybe a week after. We're going to talk about that. I'm not going to call it hopeless romantic, but basically that's going to be a part of the discussion. So, girl, you a mind reader. We talked about that about 2 weeks ago, and I've been kind of mulling it over how to approach the topic. Sometimes I just don't get along. A few things for everyone to just exactly. He don't want to be in public dogging out, saying nasty things about his kids or anything. He just leave them alone. They leave him alone. But this person who's not even in his family, is the one who stirred all this shit up and got all of this garbage started. So, yeah, I speak from experience. If a man says he's a hopeless romantic, it means he's a narcissist. Ooh, yeah, I can't be bothered because they want. It's just too unrealistic. I don't want to be up on nobody's pedestal. It's too hard to stay up there. I don't do well with high things. I like, to be at ground level. I mean, my aspirations are sky high, but as far as some man, put me on a pedestal and all that kind of stuff, worshiping me, no, because it's too easy. The first time I cuss him out or something, he's going to be all devastated and like, oh my God, I thought that you were this and that. And it's like, well, who told you that? I'm just me. And you tripping. You think I'm going to be somebody whose butter won't melt in my mouth? Please. If I just look at the butter, it's going to melt. So let's go back to our slides. Let's go back to this. So then we already talked about him. Okay, now this was really interesting. Is this it? Let me find my article. And like I said, you guys are welcome to come up with your topic too. So think of something, because after I finish this, we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. These are articles that people sent me prior to the show for us to talk about. Okay. So this one, it talks about Black men. Okay, the title of the article is Single Black Men Who Seeks Long-Term Relationship. Single Black women, not so much. And it's by this guy named Christopher Johnson. And he says in a new poll, just a quarter of single Black women said that they were looking for a long-term relationship, while nearly half of Black men said that they were. Now, why do you guys think that is? What's your vote? Give your comments and your thoughts on that. So in this poll, just a quarter of Black women said they were looking for a long-term relationship, while half of Black men in this poll said that they were. What is you think what's the difference here? Why are these men looking for a long-term relationship and the women aren't? What's your thoughts? You can put them in the chat room. Or of course you could always call in too. If you want to call, here's the link. There it is right there. And you can share your thoughts. Long-term relationships, okay? Long-term, not just a fling or a hookup. But 43% of the men said they were looking for a long-term partner. This survey came out from the Harvard School of Public Health and the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation. The survey asked questions about a wide range of topics, including communities, finance, and dating. Respondents were between 18 and 49 years old, who were divorced, widowed, or never married, were asked whether they were currently seeking a long-term romantic commitment, and therein lay the gender skew. I'm like, oh, interesting. So let me see what y'all are saying. I think, okay, let me start putting this in. Let me put these responses here. There's a difference between being a fantasy or a hopeless romantic. Okay, that was on the other topic. Okay, here we go. I think relationships mean something different between men and women. Please expand on that. They want women to do things for them and use a relationship as an excuse. I'm sure you're onto something there. Because some men think they're entitled to a sidekick. Side chick, I mean. Oh. But also to have a side chick, you have to have a long-term relationship to have a side chick. Otherwise, it's just a girl, just some woman you're kicking it with, right? It's not a side chick. You got to have a main to have a side. I think men want a long-term relationship to own the woman. That's his property, his comfort, his everything. Ooh, CC going through it, the double down. Huh. Well, you guys all have some interesting perspectives. So it just sounds like from what we got so far, and everybody, you guys are welcome to make your comments too. Why do you think so many of these young black males, because they're 18 to 49, so that's, to middle age, were looking for a long-term relationship versus the single black women who are not? That means out of the survey, 75% of the sisters was like, oh, hell no. That's a lot. That's a lot of women who don't want no parts of a long-term relationship. You see what I'm saying? When you flip the numbers, they say, oh, just 25%. Yeah, but that means 75% said no. I'm not interested. And when you put that number out there, it's like, whoa. In the sky listening. Oh, my. Well, thank you. She is flying high and listening to us. Okay, so let's look at this some more. Okay, okay, here we go. They say that they interpreted the term, quote, this is about some women in a book group that they asked this question to. They're all in their 30s and mostly single. So the ladies in this group said that they interpreted the term long-term relationship as meaning a prelude to marriage. I think that a lot of men think that they want to get married. Men see it as a sense of accomplishment. Once I get married, I can check something off the list of the things I want to accomplish in my life, she says. But why are so few women looking? So this lady says that most of her girlfriends were raised by single mothers and marriage wasn't molded into their homes. And today it seems unlikely. Who wants to say they want something that they don't feel like they could ever achieve? It just makes you feel like, damn, Okay, but so the men were raised in single parent homes too. So why do they want it and you don't? I don't think that's the reason. She says she wants to go the distance with someone. This other girl, Danette. Some people give up on marriage. Like, I'm never going to find a guy who has a job, makes as much as I do, who's cute that I can't pick up and spin around, she says. What? He said this Robert Blendon, a professor at Harvard School of Public Health, who co-directed this survey, says that economic considerations might explain a part of this gap. He says that African Americans are more likely than whites to want financial security, their long-term partners. The African American community that we interviewed report a lot of financial insecurity about things that go wrong in the future, such as losing jobs, not being able to pay medical bills, etc. It's been reported a number of times. On the average, African American women are staying in school longer than men. That also affects the choices for long-term partners. And this could have some real implications for the future of Black families. Yeah, a lot of people say, like, they talk about, quote, the Black community. What is that? What is that exactly? What is the Black community? I'm a proud cat lady and I'm ready to be a die alone. Well, damn, girl. I think because more Black women are realistic about being single and not settling and struggling. Exactly. Well, I done told you, T and Taylor, to put that little notification doohickey thingy on there on your account. Y'all got to do that, even though from what I hear, it only works half the time, but still it's better than nothing to remind you. Yes, there it is. And Christian wins the dishwasher. Ding, ding, ding. That, I think, is the real deal. Women are starting to look at marriage. Look at what they've accomplished by themselves and then look at marriage. And they're doing this cost-benefit analysis, which I always recommended. But more women are picking up on it. They're doing a cost-benefit analysis. And the cost is higher than the benefit to marry these clowns. They're not bringing nothing to the woman's life except for more chores and more stuff to do. You know, it's just not really to the black woman's benefit to join forces with some guy who's not, he's not adding anything. They always want to see, again, this is a gaslighting trip that a lot of women don't understand. It's like pretty much 99% of the stuff black men say online is gaslighting because none of it's true. It's not founded in fact. Everything that they say, all the posts they make, all the memes that we talk about in the DNN, we've been doing that for years. I've been analyzing and exposing the gaslighting dustiness and how they try to trick you to believe stuff about yourself to make you vulnerable and desperate so that their games work easier. But, women are wising up. And so they're looking at these dudes and they dudes like, well, that's why you're single. I'm single because I want to be, sir, because you're dusty and there's nothing that you're going to bring to my life. So I have no reason to stop my wonderful, happy life and existence to be married with you. So F out of here with that. But see, they want you to feel bad because you're single. If you feel bad because you're single, then you'll accept any garbage that comes along and wants to give you a $25 Walmart ring. You'll be okay with that because you think that you've accomplished something because you somebody's wife. Never mind the somebody that you married is complete garbage. You just happy that you got a ring on your finger. That's what they want you to be. Desperate and dumb. That's what they want you to be. So they flip everything around. Oh, you're just going to die single with cats. And you don't need a man. You too independent. You too masculine. You too manly. Black women are manly. Your degree won't keep you warm at night. This and that. They say all these things to try to negate your wonderfulness and your accomplishments. And if you notice, that's what I say, it's all gaslighting. It's stuff that they don't have. They put down what you are and accomplishments that you've made because you're better than them and they know it. So in order to make themselves feel better about their nothingness, they want to trash what you are and what you've done and what you've learned and where you've been and what you own and what you drive and everything else. They try to make you feel bad about it. Don't fall for the game. Don't fall for it. Yeah, women have always filed for the most divorces because those are women who are waking up and smelling the bullshit. Because they was young when they got married, right? And they was under the impression that this was, going to be something wonderful and romantic and lovely. And then they get in it and they realize, they have a husband who's focused on popcorn or who won't work. He quit his job. He half works. He want to play video games all day. He trashes the house. He doesn't do his end of the work. So when they have a kid, then he's like another child. The women are exhausted and they're resentful. They're furious. And they just, they don't feel loved and supported at all. So then basically you have a situation where the woman is married, but she's still a single mother anyway. Because everything that she does for the kids in the house, she's doing by herself, just like her friend down the street who's a single parent. Except that the single parent, don't have the added burden of some man who's supposed to be in her life helping her with them kids and being an addition, a benefit to the household. Instead, he's just an albatross around her neck. Yes, that's what I have on in my shirt. Actually, I forgot to show you guys. I have on my shirt. This is from my merch store for the channel. You can get this, what's in it for me. That's what that stands for. There's a video on this channel about that explains that whole assessment process. But yeah, with this new name tag, the thing they put on the sheet on the bottom there, it doesn't really show. But that's what I have to say about it. And I think if more women, a lot of women feel like, well, that's selfish. What's wrong with being a little selfish? Why do you feel like you can't be selfish and put yourself first sometimes? Like me, I put myself first pretty much all the time. But I can do that because my daughter's grown now. When she was little, I couldn't do that. But, at this point, there's nobody for me to be. There's no competition for my firstness. So I can be first if I want to. All the time. Uh-huh. The women live longer without the men because they don't have to take care of them too. Child, wait. I know this woman. Okay, her husband left her for a younger woman. And I think he was a longshoreman. So, I mean, he had some big time money. And so then he got sick. I think he had a stroke or something. And so he couldn't work anymore. So he's, getting his disability or whatever and his social security pension and whatever. And, he got some stuff from the service and all the stuff. So it wasn't like he was broke, but he wasn't making that long money like he had been making. And so girlfriend took him and dropped him off at his ex-wife's house. And do you know she took him in and she took care of him until he died. And I'm like, wow, that's some love that Deb don't have. Because he in a wheelchair would have done like they did in that movie. You know how she rolled dude and was threatening to roll him into the swimming pool or something? He would have went on the roller coaster of death. Because I wouldn't have been taking care of him. I wouldn't care where he went. You left me, remember? I wasn't good enough. So that means I'm not good enough for you now either. And that's what I would have done. But yeah, I was amazed at that. And I was probably about, I don't know, 14 or 15 when that happened. And I still remember it because even at that little young age, I was like, wait a minute, what? That was way before that Tyler Perry movie came out. This was, when I was a little kid. And so I'm like, oh my God. Diary of, okay, yeah, there you go. Yeah, but this was this was decades before that movie ever came out, before anybody ever heard of Tyler Perry. But yeah, that's a true story. She did that. She took care of him until he died. And I'm like, he would have died in 5 minutes, or else he would have been in some VA home or something. He wouldn't have been with me. I tell you that. I just don't understand it. So let me see. What else do I have on here? Oh, okay. This guy says his name is Milton. He's single looking for something long term, but he insists it depends on what you mean by long term. If long term relationship means headed to marriage as a final step as opposed to X years, and we'll see what happens, then that's very different, he says. See, double talk. Who you think gonna be in a relationship with you for X years outside of their 20s and think that it's not gonna go to marriage? Of course it's gonna go to marriage. Otherwise, what's the point of continuing to date you idiot? Men in general, when they hear that term, does not necessarily mean marriage. Marriage is marriage. See, some bullshit. That's why Black women are like, no. This lady named Brooke says she's also single and looking. Says he feels that most men don't. Oh, I'm sorry. Brooke is a male. Oops. Says he feels that most men don't have a good opinion of marriage, but are still looking forward to long-term relationships. They may just not have found a woman they feel that strongly about. They want to be with her, but no one said anything about marriage. They just want to be with her. Well, for however long that rocks, Yeah. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. But what does that mean, though? You just want to be with her? That just means you want some ambiguous shit where you get all the benefits of being a husband without making all the commitments and having the legal ties and obligations. That's what that means. That's what that means. What can I say? That's what I'm saying. It's gaslighting and bullshit. Can a brother ever just give a straight answer? These clowns can never just give a straight answer about anything. It's all double talk and vagueness and flipping words around so that it leaves everything that they say open to interpretation. So if you deem it to mean something and you take it that way, well, that's not what I said. You tripping. That's not what I said. They do that every time. That's why I do it too. That's exactly why I learned, you just watch what they do and I do it back. If you don't understand that, look at my the video I have on mirroring his behavior. You've got to do that. Whatever they do to you, you got to flash that mirror and do it right back. It works like miracles. It keeps you a certain emotional distance from their nonsense and fuckery. But yeah, even in this article, he's being interviewed for a study and he still can't give a straight answer. It's still some bullshit. I'm telling you, it's just, This is like black male communication 101. They never just be straight up and say anything clear. I'm just so unbelievable. Yeah, you gotta, yeah. So watch that video. It's mirroring. Watch What's in It for Me. That's another one. And the other one that I highly recommend is the vetting a man. How to vet a man properly so that you know if he's somebody you should even have another phone conversation with, because most of them don't pass the muster. And the video that's pretty recent, I did a couple of months ago, how to handle men like a queen. The Queen's Rules for 15 Rules for Handling a Man or something like that is the title. It shows a girl with this crown on her, the African kind of crown, the hat crown. Her head's wrapped in stuff on cover. So it's a very distinctive photo. But those I highly recommend for any young woman who's single to take a look at. Because if you out here trying to tangle with some brothers, actually, the white boys are getting in on it too. They be talking the same crap, and the white girls, they be right over here talking about they doing the same thing to them. I think that's what's happening is the white boys are repackaged brothers bullshit, and they call it pickup artists, talk and all stuff. But it's stuff that black people have been dealing with for generations. But now they repackaged it and slapped a fancy label on it and named all the little games that brothers play. They put a special little tag, a little slogan on it, and so now it's like something. It's a thing. Whereas this stuff's the bullshit we've been dealing with since we were 5. You know what I mean? So our mothers dealing with it. And also, there's nothing new in the black community. It's new to the white community, and it's got these fancy little labels and bows and packages and DVDs and stuff with it. But it basically just repackaged brother game. That's what it is. And so now it's spreading to the white community, and they doing the same thing, the same crap. So it's like nowhere is it like I'm looking at all these young women and the dudes who are out here now that are single and ready, for them to date and stuff like this. They're trash. They're garbage. And it's like, what in the world? What happened to manhood? Half of them want to wear nail polish and dress, walk around and talk about they trans. And the rest of them are just useless. They don't want to work. They don't want to do nothing. They want to put forth no effort. They're addicted to whatever other substance there's and things that there are. You know what I'm talking about. They don't, they exhibit all this violence and entitlement towards women. It's unbelievable the environment that is out there now for single women. And I'm telling you, it's just it's a downhill slope. It's very slippery slope. So you girls on these dating apps and stuff, be careful. Be careful. The second they disrespect you, the second they get out of pocket, the second they do anything that makes you feel uncomfortable. Yeah, I hate that word, but I have to be vague because it's a wide range of stuff when you're talking about a dating app. So whatever they do that makes you feel uncomfortable, icked out, grossed out, disrespected, disgusted, confused, any of that kind of stuff, that means that it's a bad situation. Get out of it. Get off, hang up, block him. If you do that, you will weed out most of the drama in your life. But a lot of you just don't know how to do that. Yeah, they be acting all feminine and stuff. And it's all in their feelings and wanting to cry all the damn time and stuff. What man, how do you think a woman's gonna respect you acting like that? It's just awful. I'm just so glad that I'm old. Because at least, the older dudes are a little bit different. They have other issues, but not those. And now, they have stuff like ED and they pressure and they sugar and stuff. You're dealing with other stuff like that. Yeesh. I can't, I don't have nothing to say to all of that. Yeah. That's what I was talking about that on the show the other day too. I saw this guy, he was getting black nail polish on his fingers and toes. And he was looking at me because you know me, I'm a look. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why are you here? The little nail aides didn't care because he was paying. It was another client to them. But I'm like, go take yourself somewhere and do something with yourself other than sitting at the nail shop. What the fuck? It's just a turnoff to me. It's like, I don't know what happened to masculinity. Can you imagine somebody like, what's his name that used to play all the cowboy movies? John Wayne, sitting in a nail salon. See, that's the kind of masculinity I grew up with. Watching stuff like that. See my daddy with his tool belt on, sweating and working hard and sawdust all on him and everything. I mean, men driving pickup trucks and doing manual labor and stuff, keeping up with what they're supposed to be doing at the house, building shit, fixing shit, repairing shit, creating shit. Not these dudes. They just want to play video games. Don't want to know how to do nothing. Don't ask them for help. They can't do it. They don't know how to do anything. So I'm just like, it just concerns me greatly what's out here for you young women. So I'm not saying there's not any good guys out here there, but I'm saying that the numbers are shrinking and you have to be very, very diligent about weeding through them. Get rid of the trash. Don't waste your time on it. Don't try to explain. Don't confront. Don't ask. Don't nothing. When you meet a dude, you tell him what your plan is, what your program is. He's either on board or he's not. He starts trying to talk about, well, that's too much. Your standard too high. You this and that. Click. Next. Okay, it's just that simple. You don't have to stay with a dude just because he shows interest in you. You don't owe him shit. You're not the EEOC. You don't owe him no equal opportunity. Okay? You don't do that. You're an individual person. You can have whatever standards you want to. I suggest most of you elevate them though, because to me they're not high enough. But oh yeah. Yeah, see, no. No, 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 no. No, no, no. I wouldn't even have thought to even ask my daddy to do some mess like that. Put nail polish on him. He would have sent me right to my mother. You go do that with your mama. Don't these men have any boundaries? Just because your daughter asks you, you don't know how to say no? I'm not down with that either. If it was my daughter, she'd like tell my husband, I want to put my nail polish on daddy. I said, no, you can put it on mommy. You're not going to put nail polish on daddy. Men don't walk around with nail polish on. And she would have got that lesson right there. And I know a lot of people say, well, that's very sexist and this and that. Oh, well, so what? Kiss my ass. That's the message that she would have got. But that never came up because, he wasn't about that life. Guys are like, well, I don't think it's not challenging their masculinity. I don't care what it is. I'm not comfortable with it. I'm not going to have my husband walking around with nail polish on. I don't care who put it on him. It's not going to happen. Not one man joined the program. Are you kidding me? Wow, Nurley. Yeah, they do, but nope, girl dad or not, there's certain things you as a man are not supposed to let happen to you. Okay, your daughter want to put makeup on you, you say no. You can do that to mommy. Daddies don't wear makeup. And then she'll go away. Kids don't know. They just you a face. Okay, they just want to use your face. They don't care about all that kind of stuff. But that's how you teach your children. What's boundaries. You got to have boundaries with your kids. Just like if I had a son and he want to be, come in the bathroom while I'm bathing and stuff. At a certain point, I'm going to tell him, no, you can't come in the bathroom with mommy. Mommy's going to be taking a bath and you stay out and you respect mommy's private time or whatever, obviously. But at some point you have to put boundaries up with your kids. They can't do everything that they want to do and you have to tell them why. So they start to understand societal rules. Okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Teaching them boundaries and respect. Teaching your sons to knock on doors before they go in a room that's a girl's room. Make sure they get permission before they enter her room. She can be changing clothes. You don't just barge in the girl's room. I don't care if it's your sister or your mother. You knock and you wait for them to say, okay, come in. That's what people should be teaching their sons, that kind of stuff. I don't get it. So do you guys have anything else you want to talk about? I think I'm done. What is it? I think the mic is now open. So you talk about what you want to talk about for a little bit here, then we'll move on and close up because we will be back. on Tuesday, no, Wednesday. That's right. We're on Wednesday now. We're on Wednesday now. Yeah, I know some people do that, and I never could understand why. You know, some men used to do it like in front of their daughters too. I just don't think all that's necessary, and that wouldn't have flown in my house. I mean, my daddy used to walk around. He had to go to the bathroom and stuff. He would have walk around in his boxers. My mother didn't even like him to do that. But I mean, to me, it was like at least shorts, boxers, same difference. It was like you couldn't really see anything. But my mother didn't even like that, and so she wouldn't let my brothers do that. They had to put on at least some pajama pants or something, and just teaching your children boundaries. I know that probably made them uncomfortable. It's unfortunate that she did that. Yep, that's right. Yep, you're right. I agree. I just don't understand that kind of stuff. Maybe just me. I just couldn't be walking around like that in front of my sons. Nope. I've been like that my whole life. So if that's the case, then I'm selfish, the original selfish one. But like I said, time is that one resource. I say this all the time. You don't know if you've heard of Renee. Time is the one resource on this entire planet that is never replenished. You know that? We got lakes and stuff that's been dry for years. We have so much rain in California. That shit's full now, overflowing. Rivers overflowing. They had released water from dams and stuff like that. That's how much rain we got this year so far. But some of those the lakes and stuff been dried up for years, but now they're replenished. Mother Nature did that. It with the rain. The sun comes out every day. I mean, at least it has so far. The moon rises. I mean, stuff, grass grows, flowers bloom again. Things are replenished, but time you never get your time back. So it's the one thing that you should never waste on anybody or anything that's not, bringing you joy, at least bringing you happiness and pleasure. If not, some other kind of direct financial or some other kind of benefit. I don't have a problem with that at all. Oh yeah, that wasn't that around with some time ago, and he had a GoFundMe or something. People sending him money to come back. Idiot. And I was like, you stay down there and get you a job or something, sell some butt or something, do whatever you need to do. That was stupid. Yeah, I mean, I just saw one like a headline or something, and I rolled my eyes and just scrolled on past. Yeah, but they have a snap. They have a snap or a button. So some of them. So it shouldn't be that loose and free. Against her grandson having a job. Oh, really? Did you explain to her that he's gonna grow up and be a punk, thinking he's supposed to be taken care of by women, a little punk pimp? That's what the language you need to use with her. That's the language you need to use with her because that's what's going on. But that's the parents' responsibility. Whether the grandmother doesn't like it or not, is like too bad. Nobody cares what you like. That's not your son. It's mine. Yeah, I couldn't do that. I could not do that. And as a man, I could not do that either. You're like, hell no, you putting that shit on me. What's wrong with you? Don't be asking me no shit like that. Then they say, well, you're just, you have toxic masculinity. No, I have masculinity. I'm proud of my masculinity, and I'm not going to put on a wig and makeup. Okay, that's just the opposite of masculine to me. So the answer to that question is no. You trying to take advantage of your time? Trying to be happy? Good. That's what you're supposed to do. That is exactly what you should be doing, Renee. Ooh, girl. Oh, yeah. Well, it's time for you to make a complete U turn then. You do you. And don't worry about them. Then, and people gonna, since you've been that way for a long time, people are gonna, you're gonna get a little pushback. They're gonna, what's wrong with you? Why you acting so selfish? Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you say, well, that's really nice that you had an opinion, but when I want your opinion, I'll ask you for it. Or better yet, I'll give it to you. I didn't ask for your permission. I didn't ask for your thoughts on the matter. I'm just telling you this is what it is. Yeah, they, I mean, not that they can look, but it's like, this is as far as it goes. I mean, I don't know some guys who are makeup artists and that's what they do, but they tend to be gay. No, and they're really good at it. I mean, they're really skilled, but I'm like, whatever. Wouldn't be happening in my house. You could get that talent somewhere else. Yeah. Yeah, no. Not happening. Girl, you know what? I can't stand them pants. They be wearing them skinny jeans. They be low and tight and just, oh my God, it's like they look like leggings. What are you doing? Uh-oh. Okay, that's a typo. She said, oops. But if you guys, somebody be brave and want to call in, we'll be here for another, I don't know, let's see, give it another 10 minutes or so. And then we'll deuce out. Yeesh. No, I did not. That's pretty awful, though. He's disgusting. I don't even know what to say about that. But, it happens. That's unfortunate, though, that she did not, use her protection. Yeah. Mm-mm. Yeah. No. There's just certain things, I don't know. I think about my dad and my grandfather and stuff, and it's just not, the idea of what's a man is very firmly embedded in me. And these other variations of a theme are not masculine to me. I'm sorry, I just don't see these guys as being manly at all. I don't know what they are, but they're just not. And these girls who, deal with them and stuff and think it's okay, I'm like, what are you doing? Your family's not ready for you to go to university? Nope. Just prepare yourself and when it's time to go, go. Don't worry about it. You got your finances together. I mean, as long as you can do it without their help. If you can do it without their help, girl, then just do it. Because if they're not in favor of you going, there's something they're going to try to do everything they can to pull you back, make you doubt yourself, and fail. So keep that in mind. Play your cards close to your vest. Don't tell nobody really what you're doing. I mean, you can tell me, but don't tell nobody around your circle, nobody in your family and your friends and stuff, because they might like spill the beans. They'll tell it. They'll tell it. You think so? Hmm. You could be right. I think what had an even greater impact though is the the lack of fathers in their sons' lives. These boys being raised by women, so all they see is femininity. The men aren't there for them, and young males need to model. more so than girls do. Girls, you can tell them stuff and they, run with it. Guys need to see it in action and then they copy it. They mimic and they need a quote role model way more than girls ever do. I've noticed that. So if you have, they don't have a role model. Some of them will pick one from the neighborhood that's unsavory. You know what I mean? Others will pick somebody in sports or something. I mean, that might work for them if that's a decent sort of person or whatever. But the father actually being there to correct their behavior, role model for them and stuff like that is not there. I remember my brother had a habit, like he would sit at the table and he would put his elbow and he would let his wrist like be limp, like his wrist would be limp like this while he was sitting there. My father went crazy and told him to stop doing that because it looked like a girl. And so, he broke my brother that habit. My mother didn't even really trip on it. I guess I don't think she really noticed it. But my father noticed it. He broke my brother that habit real quick. It's like, oh no, you're not gonna be walking around here with your limp all wrist. What's wrong? Your wrist all limp. What's wrong with you? She puts me in hair and bows. Oh, and they let her do it? What's wrong with them? I don't know. I think that's what it is. Exactly. They do need to see. They need to see one. I mean, that's like notice how we always talk about we need a leader, we need a role model. Those cries always come from men. They always come from men. Women don't say that. It's the males that say they need that. We need a leader, we need a role model. So, like I said, if they can't get it at home, they're gonna get it from the local gang banger, from the local street pharmaceutical person. They're gonna get it from somebody on TV who may or may not be good. They need that. Sometimes it's a coach. I mean, if it's somebody who's decent, they might have somebody that they can model themselves after who's not their dad, but who still, play that role in their life. Young males need that. And women who don't let their sons be around any positive men or in an environment where there are no positive men, it's gonna be a problem for your boy when he grows up. I think yes. And that would be the kind of thing that you would do as a parent. That would be an unselfish gesture that's towards the best result for your child. Like I said, being a mother, you have to make a lot of different judgment calls. Sometimes this stuff is not going to be really what you want, but it's for the best of the kid, then you do it. It'll make a lot of calls like that. Calls me and girls. And they let her. See, if that happened to me, like at work, I would be in HR as a dude saying, because that trans shit, you can flip it around on them too. She misgendered me. She misgendered me. She's calling me a girl. I'm not. I'm a man. See, that shit can work two ways. And I would flip that on her. I know, but it's something to think about. Think about it though, girl. He don't have to be good for you. Is he going to be good for your son? One thing you don't want to do is raise a dusty. And since boys need a male role model, if this guy's willing to step in and do that for your son, he's giving up his time and energy, which is going to benefit your child. He might not be the best for you, but you could make your ass could bake him a birthday cake or happy and give him a card or something on his birthday, or do something. Make him some fried chicken on for the weekend or something. I mean, do little stuff like that, but that don't mean you have to deal with him. You have to be his girlfriend or, no sleepovers and stuff like that. But, he can come and he can associate, pick a kid up and they go off and do guy things. You don't have to be bothered. Just think about it. Just think about it. Because one thing, we got to make sure we reduce the dusty count. If this dude is going to step up and help you make sure that doesn't happen to your son, girl, you would just be crazy not to take advantage of it. Yes, we try to. But some women are just too far gone. Like look at Diana and all her crew. They so far out there in left field, they can't do nothing with them. Yeah, come on now, girl. You know how I talk. I didn't mean no disrespect. This is how I talk. But yeah, you could do that. Come on now. She say, "Geesh, geesh." That was not what I was hoping you would say. No, girl. Wait. Let's rewind for a minute. Whose channel are you on? Is this not the one who's always in favor of whatever's going to help the kids? Always. I never vary from that position. I'm always about the kids. Always. Always, always. Never will change on that point. Always about the kids. So sometimes that means, we got to put ourselves in second place for a minute till our kids get grown. Once they're grown, you don't have to worry about them no more. But when they're still little, it's still your responsibility to make sure they have everything they need to survive, not to survive, to thrive. But then, sometimes, like I said, you're gonna have to make them hard calls and do stuff that you might not really want to do, but it's the best thing for the kid. Yeah, we talked about that. Amina, where you been? That was our first topic. We talked about that and Ayanna and her pick meism. Well, yeah, that's what I would do if, if I had a boyfriend that called me bro. I sure would call him girl, just to see, so he can understand. I ain't your bro, motherfucker. Your mama, your mama's a bro. I don't have good sense. This lady was telling me about how she was somewhere and she heard this white guy going off and talking about like all these expletives and everything, and to this black woman and stuff, and she's like, how would you have handled it? I said I would have just sat there and let him talk, say all the stuff he wanted to say, and then I would have said your mama. she she started cracking up. She's like, no, you would. I said, yes, I would, because that's the kind of stuff that it doesn't even deserve a dignified response. He's just an ignorant fuck. So it's just, your mama's all that. Everything that you say, you talk about your mama, your mama. But you don't go through all this. You just say your mama, right? And then I would be cracking up at myself at my clever wit and just making fun of him like that. Like, you thinking somebody gonna get upset about your crack ass? I don't think so. You don't say your, you say yo mama, yo. Yeah, but people be just doing the most. Exactly. Kids are our future. So, we got to do a little extra. But yeah, I don't, and I like to watch some people with them videos with them people with them Karens coming up to them and bamming on their cars and stuff. I had that happen one time, this girl, and this is way before they had the Karen thing, that phrase. She gonna beat on my car because the lanes was merged in Market Street, downtown San Francisco, to one lane, right? And I, went through, I got in the lane before her. She was mad. You one car behind me. The street stopped. All the traffic stopped. What are you doing? And she jumps out her car. Crazy ass white girl jump out of her car and start banging on my window and shouting stuff. So I'm eating a banana, right? So I took about a bite. I put it down, and then I motioned for her, to back away from the car door so I could open the car door. I reached under my seat. I used to carry a little hatchet under my seat, so I get out with my hatchet. I said, "What?" You should have seen her face. She ran her ass back to her car. And so then I get back, this bus driver, community driver is looking across the street. He's like, "Sister, you okay?" I said, "Yeah, fine. I handled it. I got my car, went on to work." But yeah, people, I don't understand why people tolerate that kind of stuff. Bitch, I will put some fire out your ass. You get in my face like that. And you talk as much shit as you want to, but once you start putting your hands on me, I'm going to knock sparks from your ass. That's what's going to happen. I'm going to make you wish that you had never seen my face. I'm going to beat your ass. I'm going to grab you by your hair. I'm going to fling you around like bam, bam. And then stomp and kick you and do all kinds of stuff because you put your hands on me. So I don't understand these people that just let them get away with that. That would be all I would need. I would probably push up on her so to make sure she touched me so I could body slam that bitch. So, it's like, I don't understand. I look at the clips on TikTok and stuff, and I'm like, why are they taking this kind of disrespect? Why they letting these women put their hands on them and stuff? I don't get it. Exactly. And they always in the store or something, where they got security cameras. So there's there, and then witnesses and stuff, everybody seeing them verbally assault you and attack you and call you all kind of names. But I'm just like, oh my God, they would just give me a license to pull out my stun gun and go for the jugular. Drop a bitch. Well, yeah, it's just unbelievable to me that this is the kind of stuff that's going on. That's all for our show today. We covered so many different topics, so many different topics. But we'll be doing this again in a few weeks. We'll be back on Wednesday with our advice show, which is What the Fuck Wednesday now. It used to be Tuesday, but it's What the Fuck Wednesday. It will be on at 6 p.m. Pacific time. That's 9 if you're on the East Coast. Sorry, it's a little late for some of you, but that's what we do. And people write their questions. They submit their questions in advance, and my cousin selects them. So if you have an issue that you want to talk about, get an answer on, you still have time. So go to the website, debsterism.com. It's the same as this channel, debsterism.com, and look for the button, the nav bar button that says Get Advice. Click it and fill out the form and then submit it. And that's all you got to do. It's also linked in the show description down below if you don't want to do that. All right. So you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Have a good dinner. I'm about to because I'm starving. And I'll see y'all on Wednesday. Bye.